Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our office hours with Craig Guarente. We are letting people log on, so we'll give it another minute and then Craig will get started. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our office hours with Craig Guarente, Palisade's founder and CEO. Craig, I'm going to hand it over to you at this time. I know we had a lot of questions come in related to Oracle audits. And so at this time, I will hand it over to you.
Thanks, Jen. Can you hear me now, Jen?
Yes, I can
Awesome.
hear you.
Thanks, everyone. We were having some technical difficulties back here. So I appreciate everybody's time today logging in to our conference on office hours. We just thought this would be a great forum for folks to ask some questions and get some answers, because I know there's a lot of stuff that floats out there on the internet about different Oracle questions and scenarios. So we thought we'd just offer this opportunity, see how it goes, and maybe do it again. So we'll just do a quick introduction, and then I'll get right down to the questions that folks have. And really the questions came into three buckets. There were questions around Oracle Java and what are they doing around licensing. Then there were just general licensing questions. I have version X and I want to move to version Y, or things like that. And then finally, we had a few compliance audit type questions. And then for those of you who stay till the end, there'll be some free stuff. So stick around. So my name is Craig Guarente. I'm the CEO for Palisade Compliance and now Paliversity as well. So lots and lots of Oracle experience before that. I was with Oracle for 16 years, global vice president of their contracts and business practices. I was their global owner for customer audits, CIO advisory board, and a few other things while I was there. Did that until 2011 when I started Palisade Compliance. And now, 9 years later with Palisade, we are the leading provider of independent Oracle business advice. So it could be audit defense or license compliance or cost containment strategies, moving to the cloud. So we're not a technical firm. We're 100% independent of Oracle. We just help our clients achieve their goals, whether they are moving to Oracle or away from Oracle. And we've recently started a new initiative called Paliversity, where we've taken all of our learning that we provide to our clients and we put it in an online format for folks to take whenever and wherever they want. So that is available today, and we've got about 13 learning modules on there, from how to negotiate with Oracle and what to negotiate, how to take control of an audit. We've got a module there on license optimization. I know there were some questions on there. We also have a Java module that will be available in early March. So for those of you who had Java questions, that'll be there as well. If you don't want a big consulting engagement, there's also the Paliversity route. Okay, so let's get down to the questions we had. So the first three questions are all around Oracle Java. And the first two are related, and it's Oracle Java audits. So basically, everybody wants to know, is Oracle auditing Java? And the answer is Oracle doesn't have to audit Java because they are suggesting to customers that they have big Java problems, and those customers are signing unlimited agreements for Java subscriptions for a term. So we haven't seen any official Oracle audits for Java where you get the letter from the LMS team and they're auditing and getting money that way. What we've seen a lot of is Oracle salespeople having conversations with customers about their use of Java. We've also seen Oracle, or we've had Oracle customers tell us that Oracle has approached them and said, we see you've downloaded ABC product from Java, or Java portfolio, and therefore you need a license. So Oracle is looking at the downloads that customers have around Java, and then they're applying pressure to those customers to buy Java products and buy Java subscriptions. And it's typically this sort of all-you-can-eat Java model for a few years, and you know, that'll help customers, I guess, resolve the issues that Oracle thinks they have. And the Java one is a little complex because you can get Java in multiple ways. Obviously, you can buy a subscription for Oracle Java. That's the first way, directly. Oracle Java is also included in many of Oracle's middleware products. So if you have some of those middleware products, you already have a license for Java. Some of those licenses are restricted, and some of them aren't. They're more full use licenses. And then if you're buying third-party applications, some Java is embedded with that. So you have multiple points of entry for Oracle Java. The last question on here is right-sizing your Java subscriptions and what is the best approach. And obviously, we always start at the beginning. So we want to know, where did your license come from? In the traditional Oracle world, that means show me your Oracle contracts. In the Java world, that could mean show me your Oracle contracts, let me see your licenses. Are you using other third-party products that might include Java, and going from there. But you know, the way Oracle has licensed Java, or is requiring that you have a paid subscription for Java, let me use the right terms. It's basically, if you're using commercial features, or if you want updates that are more than 6 months old, you're probably going to end up buying a license subscription for Oracle Java. So that's what we look for when we are auditing a customer for their use of Java, is what features and functions have been in use and turned on, how are you using the software, what applications are you supporting, how often are you updating it, all those things. So that's sort of on the contracting and licensing side. As far as the where is it side, there are tools, commercial tools that you can use to sort of point you in the direction of Java. At Palisade, we've got tools that sort of search out and scan to find out where your Java is located. All of those tools, they will get you so far, but then you've got to put it back into the sort of the next bucket, which is, okay, I found Java. Now, is it something that I need to buy, or is it something I need to pay for, or is it included in something else? So you have sort of a business analysis at the beginning of your Java journey. Then you have a technical analysis in terms of finding out where you have Java running and installed. And then you have to sort of wrap that up again with sort of a business contractual licensing analysis of, okay, I found this Java, but is this a licensable event, or is it not a licensable event? So anyway, to wrap this slide up, no official Oracle audits for Java. We have seen Oracle put a lot of pressure on customers and generate a lot of money from Java based on that pressure. And as far as right-sizing your Java subscriptions, look at those multiple points of entry of where Java could be to find out what your license is to begin with. And then you'll need a scanning tool to go find Java, both on your servers and your desktop. So again, this is a little different for Oracle. We traditionally just look at server side, and then wrapping that analysis. What do I own versus what am I using? And then am I plus or minus? And then what should I do from there? So it's, in that respect, it's a very similar approach. So that's what we have for Oracle Java. I can open that up for questions. I think if you put a comment on the chat, Jen can unmute your line and you can ask a question. So let's give it there 1 second. If we see anything come through the chat. I just want to make sure that I covered exactly what folks wanted to cover here. There's also a Q&A button. Okay, well, you guys can think about those questions that you might have and put them in there. We can always come back to the Java. Just wrapping up that for now, though, I would just caution folks to get ahead of this. You don't want to get that call from your Oracle sales rep claiming that they found some usage of Java, or at least found some downloads of Java that require a license. When Oracle comes to you and says, you have a big problem, we're going to help you fix it, you probably end up spending a lot more money than if you figure out yourself if you have an issue, and then you move forward with a solution on your own. One of the interesting things that we're doing in the next few weeks is we are having a webinar with a company called Azul Technologies that sells an alternative to Oracle Java. So that is another avenue that, you can join that webinar, you can hear from Azul, you can go find them on the internet. I think it's azultechnologies.com, and get information there as well. So that's a good resource. If you find that you have a problem with Oracle Java, you can always get off of it to resolve your issue. Okay, next, general licensing questions. So some of these are very specific, and some of them are more broad-based. So very specific, we're moving from R12 to Fusion. Are the licenses transferable? Some different information on that. There's two ways that you can upgrade your licenses at Oracle. One is a supported upgrade if you maintain Oracle Tech Support, or if you have access to those downloads after you leave Oracle support. You want to go from version 10 to version 11, from version 11 to version 12. Those are just new versions of the same product. And so Oracle looks at that as an upgrade or an update for tech support. So there's no cost associated with that other than the license fees that you already paid and the ongoing maintenance fees. Now, the other way that you can upgrade your license is what Oracle calls a migration. It's not a technical migration, it's a license migration from one product to another. So I believe that moving from R12 to Fusion would require you go through that migration process. And what that migration process means that Oracle takes your contractual license entitlement. You have 20 licenses of this product, that turns into 10 licenses of that product. 15 licenses of this is 15 licenses of that. So they literally have to map one license and one product to another license and another product. And they just run reports, create a big spreadsheet. They have a flow chart of what the products turn into and what the matrix are, and they convert that. And in some of those migrations, it is what you would call a $0 migration. So there's no additional money that's owed from the client to Oracle. However, in other migrations, there could be additional monies that are owed. For example, if R12 has 10 pieces of functionality, but Fusion has 13 pieces of functionality, Oracle would want to get the benefit of that and get you to pay them money for the value of the additional functionality. So there could be, one license of this turns into one license of that plus $1,000. And my guess is that is where most customers are going to fall into when they go from R12 to Fusion. Is you're going to go into this migration, and they'll probably end up owing Oracle a little bit more money, but you never know. You could come out of a situation where you're migrating from one to another without additional requirements. But I don't believe it is a supported update. So it's not like you paying for support for R12 and you're just going to get Fusion sort of as the next version as if it were R13, let's say. So that's that one. Next question is license optimizations for Intel and non-Intel. That's sort of a broad question, hard to answer specifically. There are different, what Oracle calls core factors for different types of servers. So for example, an Intel server might have a core factor of 0.5, and it's just the math that you use when you figure out your price. It's $47,500 is your list fee. You want 10 processors, that's $475,000. Then you put a core factor of 0.5, and you're going to have half of that, and then you add your discount on top of that. Some servers, non-Intel, have core factors of 1, so they're more expensive than Intel servers. Oracle does have a core factor table online. You can just Google Oracle core factor table. Make sure you're going to the Oracle site and not somebody else's site. Oracle puts a lot of things in their contract that they tend to change over time, URL-wise. At least the core factor table, though, there is a statement of changes. So the core factor table that applies to your Intel or non-Intel machines is the one that was in effect when you bought your licenses. So don't necessarily look at the latest version of that for the answer to your question on whether or not you need more or less. You'll have to go back in time and look at those previous versions and go through the statement of changes to see if there's anything in there that affects you. But I guess the overall picture, and it sort of gets into the next one, is, you know, we have seen clients reduce their license requirements by changing their hardware architecture, which sort of brings us to the next question, which is Power Systems the right platform to keep control of database license costs? And sure, absolutely. Another policy document that Oracle has, which is not in your contract, is hard partitioning, soft partitioning, virtualization policies. And in there, again, Oracle talks about soft partitioning, which they do not accept as a way to reduce your license counts, and hard partitioning, which is a way they do accept. And one of the sort of recommended or approved ways to hard partition and micro partition hardware is using IBM systems. So using Power Systems is a way to definitely reduce the license requirements of your environment. For example, if you have a highly virtualized soft partition environment and you can move it to a hard partitioned system like Power Systems. It's a great way to reduce the license requirements. Then the tricky part, I think, comes in. The second part of that is, okay, I'm using less licenses. How do I reduce my support costs? And that, again, goes back, just like the Java question, there's a technical component, and then there's a business contractual licensing component. So yes, you might reduce your license requirements, but then you need to do that analysis to say, hey, am I reducing, is there a way for me to reduce my technical support requirements? And I believe those were all the general licensing questions that we had. So again, if you guys have any questions, or if I missed something, or you want me to dig a little deeper, just put a comment in the Q&A, and we'll get that to the end. Otherwise, we're going to probably give you a bunch of time back in your day. So the next question is compliance related. First one, and these are all a little bit different, so we'll spend a little bit of time here. Never been audited and use Oracle Hospitality Suites Cloud. Does Opera Cloud get audited? Again, much like Java, it's a cautionary tale. I haven't seen a direct audit letter from Oracle saying that we're going to audit your cloud usage. Although we have seen Oracle audit their old on-demand environment, as you know, customers have some things on-prem and some things they were using Oracle on demand, and we've seen Oracle definitely audit that type of environment. But things like Opera Hospitality Suites, I have not seen a direct audit from that. However, again, two things. Your contracts with Oracle, one of the things that Oracle snuck into their cloud services agreement is the ability to use all of your data for audit purposes. So if you think about that, when you're on-prem and not in Oracle's cloud, or let's just say when you're not in Oracle's cloud, if Oracle wants to audit you, they need to send you an audit letter, they need to meet with you, they need to set up a schedule, they need to send you scripts, you need to run those scripts, and you need to send all of that stuff back to Oracle so that they can process it. Well, all of that, pretty much all of that goes away once you're in Oracle's cloud. You've probably agreed in your CSA with Oracle, Cloud Services Agreement, that, and it's in their standard language, that Oracle can use your data, and the words they use are for license management purposes. And what license management purposes is sort of speak for audits. So their audit group is license management services. So they can use all that data for audits. So it would not surprise me if there was a team of people at Oracle looking at what's been installed in Oracle Cloud and comparing that to license entitlements. In this case, it's all cloud, so the audit would be more around usage. If you have so many transactions or so many hours or so many people, and you have more than that logging onto the system or more data flowing or running more transactions, and the order forms that you sign with Oracle, they have overage provisions, right? If you go over a certain amount of X, then Oracle can charge you. So, I don't really think it's an audit like that, but I'll give you sort of an example. You all dialed into Zoom conference here. We use Zoom obviously to host our webinars and our internal conferences. And as part of that, we get so much storage with our subscription. And I remember a little while back, I got an email from someone at Zoom that just said, hey, we noticed that you've gone over your storage capacity agreement with us. So you have two choices, Craig. You can either take some stuff off of Zoom storage or you can buy more storage. So they were very nice about it. We chose to take some stuff down that we didn't need to get back into compliance there. My guess here is Oracle, if you go over whatever line you are with Oracle, you're probably just going to get a bill and not get the option to reduce. So it's something that you want to manage pretty closely with any cloud with Oracle. Okay, next question. How to deal with one-time accidental usage of options, for example, advanced compression. The basic philosophy, a few things here is, listen, if you're using something, you should pay for it. It's Oracle's IP, you agree to it, you should pay for it. But when I say using something, I mean, are you using it intentionally or are you getting value from it? Those are sort of two components of the use question. And I think these are questions that Oracle would ask when they were auditing you. So if you accidentally turn something on, and it is very easy to accidentally do that because when you install the Oracle software, everything is turned on automatically. The other thing that can happen is you can use a feature of an option like advanced compression without actually turning on the option itself because it's already turned on. So as you move information from one server to another, and I'm going to be sort of very civilian-like in my description here, but if you're a DBA moving things over, you might get prompted by the system, say, hey, listen, do you want to move this information over faster? And you click yes. Well, guess what? You just compress the data so it can move from here to there faster. And that was a feature of advanced compression. So there's no warning that you actually turned on that feature and it's an extra cost feature and you're not licensed for it. So what we look for is, have you been using it for a while? Are you getting value from it? Again, very similar things that Oracle would look for. Now, if you did, and here's one of the big risks, let's say you did use advanced compression or some other option 3 years ago. It's a one-time use. If you get audited by Oracle and they see that something was used 3 years ago, what Oracle will try to do is say, you turned on advanced compression 3 years ago. Not only do you owe me for the license, but you owe me for 3 years of support. So then it's up to you to sort of explain why you don't. So what we advise our clients to do is sort of depending on the specifics of your situation. If you did turn something on accidentally and you used it once, you just need to have your story straight with Oracle. So here's what happened. It's very similar to a tax audit. If the IRS were auditing you, you would give them all this information and then you would explain it, right? So you would want to have your, when I say have your story straight, have your explanation. Oracle, this was turned on automatically. Someone did this thing. It was used once, as you can see. We've never used it again. We never got value from it. It's not a licensable event. So that is sort of the cleanest way to have that conversation with Oracle. But again, you have to get your story straight. Don't wait for Oracle to find you out of compliance and then figure it out. You should know if you're in compliance. You should know if you've had these things turned on by accident. There's also a, when you buy or license Oracle software, you do get a 30-day trial for some of this stuff. So a one-time usage could be covered by that. And then finally, we've had customers who want to sort of wipe the slate clean. And look, we used it once, there's no value, or we used it over there on that server, but then we copied that database onto another server And now it looks like we used it over here, but we really didn't. Right, so that's another one, especially when you're migrating databases and things like that. Things show up and they appear that they were in use, but they actually never were in use, and you have to sort of go through the history of that database. Another option that folks have, and it's a labor-intensive option, is to just reinstall the database, sort of wipe the slate clean, and then go from there. But again, you don't want to do that option if you've been using it and getting value from it, and you should pay for it, right? We don't want to deny Oracle their IP and you know, the money that you owe them, but that's not the only option, is giving Oracle money. There's lots of ways to deal with accidental usage, and I just gave you a couple of them. Next question is, how do we assess our likelihood of audit under $5 million firm? Really interesting question. Typically, Oracle doesn't necessarily audit by dollar or revenue. There are criteria. So are you a fast growing company and you've not been buying from Oracle, right? So your revenue goes up, but your Oracle purchases stay flat. Have you told Oracle that you're moving away from Oracle? That's another sort of flag. Have you not made a purchase in 3 years? That's another flag. Do you have a new account team? Have you broken off communication with them, or are they trying to get into your account and you're saying no? Right, so all those flags together, I believe, are what trigger audits for customers. And the biggest trigger for an audit is, does Oracle think there's money, right? Oracle audits are not accidents. Oracle audits when they can get money fast from a client. If they think you're in compliance, there is no reason to audit you. I don't care if you're a $2 million firm or $20 million firm, or $20 billion firm. If Oracle thinks they can get money, if I'm an Oracle sales rep and you're an under $5 million firm and you're in my account and you won't talk to me and I think you're out of compliance, I'm probably going to audit you, right? I just sort of put my Oracle hat back on to see, you know, what's the likelihood here. Having said all that, I do know that Oracle has moved a lot of their audit functionality, all their people, to Romania. So it's all in Eastern Europe now. And I believe that those folks are targeting smaller clients because they're easier to audit. You know, you think about a $20 billion firm, you might have a software asset management tool, you might have a team of people who track this, you might hire consulting firms like Palisade to get in there and help you make sure you're on the right course. But if you're a smaller firm, you probably don't have any of those protections in place, and you're probably suffering from things like accidental usage and unknown usage of products and things like that. So I would be careful if you were a small firm. Don't think small size means small risk. We had one firm, the very first client I had for audits back in 2011 or 2012, they spent $35,000 a year on Oracle maintenance, and they got audited by Oracle and got hit with a $1 million non-compliance finding. So be careful. The next question is, what percentage of the initial claim? So I guess this is, Oracle said I was out of compliance by $10 million. What can I expect to pay Oracle? That's my assumption for this question. And that's, again, it's a really difficult question to answer. I will give you the analogy someone once gave me. They said that is the average of a chicken. And what that means is, if you have 2 chickens and I have no chickens, the average number of chickens we have is 1, but the reality is totally different. You have all of them and I have none of them. So we have helped clients with huge non-compliance in the tens of millions of dollars, bring them down to 0. That's the reality of it. Oracle audits, the final report from Oracle, are usually filled with mistakes or assumptions that are easily, you can push back on. Maybe not so easily, but or we've seen other clients where Oracle comes in and finds, you know, $5 million compliance, and yeah, the customer really was using all that stuff, and we sort of got through all the issues, and they still had to pay Oracle a couple $1 million. I guess the key here is don't just accept the finding. You know, I love, if you can get 80% off, great. If you can get 90% off, great. We always start at 0, and we start defending a client even when the final report is there. We start with, we assume you're in compliance. Now Oracle has to prove that you're out of compliance. And then final question here is, when are the audits likely to take place? And there's two answers to that. One is when it's most painful for you. And what I mean by that is you're doing an upgrade and Oracle knows you've got 2 data centers running. That's a great time for them to audit you because they think you should license all of that stuff. You're moving to the cloud. You've got your on-prem implementation and you've got a cloud implementation. That's a great time to find you out of compliance. You've just done a merger or acquisition. That's a good time. And then Oracle does these campaigns. So, you know, you have to look back from their fiscal year end. So their year end is May 31st. Go back 6 months from May 31st, and I'm sure a lot of audit letters went out just to get clients, you know, bring in revenue for Oracle's fiscal year. I would suspect another batch goes out at the beginning of their fiscal year, June and July, where they are figuring out accounts and doing their targeting, right? So send out the audit letters in June and July to get revenue in for that next fiscal year. And those were all the questions that were fit to print. There were a few others that we didn't put on here that sort of weren't relevant. But anyway, for those of you who stayed to the end, I mentioned that we have our Paliversity offering. So online portal where you can take Oracle training. We'd love to give you guys a free trial of that. If you want, everyone who attended, we'll send you a note. The URL is right there, and just put in that code and you will gain access to our training portal. You'll get access to our one training module on how to reduce your Oracle costs. So that's it, everyone. I appreciate your time. We didn't have any follow-up questions, so I'll assume that I did a good job and answered everything. If you have any specific Oracle questions or problems that you need help with, reach out to us at info@palisadecompliance.com. If you're more of the do-it-yourself folks and you just want education and learning, you can visit paliversity.com. So thank you everyone for your time today. Have a great day and good luck with Oracle.